ha 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 ha. Good for your asses. Yeah, I said it. That's good for you. I don't care. I said it. I hope you go out of business. That's good for you. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, like today I saw on 60 Minutes, not 60 Minutes, ABC Nightly News or whatever have you, right? They were talking about how these local and small business owners, specifically restaurant owners, fast food restaurants, are literally having to go out of business because of the fact that they don't have any type of, they don't have any employees that they're hiring, and the demand is up. You know, people go into restaurants and they're eating, but people, that work regular jobs are not coming to work. And they're blaming it on, Joe Biden and the Democrats because they have extended the unemployment, for a couple weeks longer, right? So basically what's happening is people are saying, if I go to work, I'm not going to get this amount of money. If I stay home and not work, I'm going to get this amount of money as far as dealing with my unemployment check. And it makes sense. And at the end of the day, it's our money anyway, regardless. So I laugh at you all. And the reason why I laugh at you all, and I don't care whether you all go out of business or not, is because of the fact that while people were working at your place of business, you were bullshitting them. You were giving them minimum wage. In other words, you weren't paying your employees. You were treating them like pure tea shit. Now you expect for these same people to come back to work for you when they don't have to? And the reality of it is, it's just the fast food, it's the small local fast food restaurants, chains, and the local, bars and stuff like that don't want to pay their employees anything. But the majority of America wants to go back to work. They just want to get paid. Yo, seriously, this is my word, right? So let me talk about me, right? Prior to COVID-19, right? I had multiple streams of income, right? But I still had to do Postmates. One of them was Postmates, right? Postmates, I don't even want to talk about that place. You understand? Until I'm like 100% dead with them. And I have stories for days as far as dealing with Postmates. But I can't even tell you, when I looked at, going out and delivering and having to pay for gas and oil changes and just some of everything, and taking a trip, right? A delivery, dropping it off, they don't pay you, far as like when you go further out of the red spot and you have to come back to the red spot. So they pay you when you pick up the food and drop it off. And that's it. Not when you go to pick up the food. No, they pay you from the point of you picking it up and you dropping it off. There were times that I broke even. And the only reason why I was able to make a certain amount of money is because it was based on, the tips that I was bringing in. But I'm not going to go there because I have a whole big story about Postmates that right now I can't talk about. I don't want to talk about it right now. But it's coming really, really soon. Pause. But prior to COVID-19, I had to do some of the Postmates. I had to do Postmates some days. And then when COVID-19 hit and there was no work nowhere, everything shut down, all my savings and everything just got burnt out. And I'm not lying, not like this last year, this time it wasn't that bad. It started getting bad around August of last year. For me. You understand? And at the end of the day, I'm not ashamed to say it. I did get the stimulus check. I did get unemployment. Period. I needed it at that time. Had it not been for that, I wouldn't have been able to make any money. Because everything got shut down. And some smart aleck may say, well, what about your YouTube channel? Man, listen, I only have one channel monetized, and I don't even make that type of money on that. And I just recently started making money off of YouTube. And last year of July, August, around that time, I wasn't making any money. I didn't have 1,000 subscribers and what they required for you to have. So just recently, a couple of months ago, I say probably 6 months ago, I, got my channel monetized. But other than that, I was in a predicament. So I truly understand where people are coming from when they're saying, yo, listen, I ain't going to work. It's not going to happen. The government, as far as dealing with unemployment check, they're paying me, let's say $400, right? If I go back to work, that $400 a week, if I go back to work, I got to bust my ass, and I'm only making $200 a week. That doesn't make sense. Mathematically, that does not make sense. So let me tell you something. Let me give you all a solution. You all out there, the small business owners that want to keep the money, and the bigger, the higher positions, such as manager or CEO or whatever have you. You want to keep that money up there. You don't want to bring it down to the little people, right? Let me give you some advice. How about paying your employees? How about giving them an incentive to come back to work? How about giving them some type of health benefits? How about giving them some hours? Because once they start working for you all, it's back to the goddamn gravy train. It's back to the gerbil and the wheel. And it never stops. So I don't feel no pity on you all. None. I hope you all shut the fuck down. I don't care. Who I care about is the people. Specifically black people. Because those are the ones that are suffering the most. I see you all crying on TV. I don't know what I'm going to do. Do you know how many black people have cried? Minorities as well as poor white people have cried because of the fact that they trying to get hours. And they busting their ass, they trying to work. And they have all these bills to pay. They don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what that feels like, do you? And neither did you care when the shoe was on the other foot. So I laugh at you all now. I knew one day a day was going to come like this. Now, let me tell you something. For all you that are getting your unemployment checks and, the government is giving you stimulus checks and all the rest of that stuff, let me tell you something. I'm going to give you some advice. Sooner than later, things are going to return back to normal. I'm telling you, sooner than later, things are going to return back to normal. They're going to stop giving out this extra $200-$300, right? South Carolina has already stopped. They're going to stop in June, like around early June, right? They're going to stop, right? What I would tell you all to do is to pay your bills, and if you have something extra at the end, invest, whether it's stocks, whether it's, let's say, doing a power washing houses. You invest into a power machine and going around cleaning people's houses, the exterior of it. Put your money in something so that when this shit goes back to normal, you don't have to go back to work for those people, those slime balls, those people that treat you like shit. You might have been 10 minutes, late for work because of the fact that you had to drive across town to drop your son or your daughter off so you can go to work. But they don't respect that. I'm so glad that this day has came. I'm so glad. It might be short-lived, but I'm so glad that these restaurant owners, these small business owners that treat people like shit, that don't want to pay them, are feeling that fire. Feeling that fire. And they're going to have the nerve, the Republicans as well, they in on it too. They're going to have the nerve to talk about that Americans don't want to work, they're lazy, and all they doing is sitting at home collecting their unemployment check. And that is totally false. Totally false. Most of us want to work. Most of us want to get up and do for self. But at the end of the day, you're going to pay. You're going to pay. You're going to have to pay. It's just that plain and simple. And they bitching and complaining, because Biden is trying to get the minimum wage raised up to $15 an hour. Just think about it. Every year, eggs, milk, Pampers, all that shit goes up. It's called inflation. But you know what doesn't inflate? Our paychecks, our hourly wage. The minimum wage needs to go up. There needs to be some type of incentive for these people to go back to work. Period. It's time. You know what I've realized? It's bad to say, but COVID-19, for a lot of people, decimated their lives. But for other people, it was a come up. I'm just being real. COVID-19 hit, and it was a come up for the little people. I mean, definitely. Come on, let's be real. The corporations and the 1%. Oh my God, they made billions of dollars off of this, right? Of course they did. But I'm saying, this time, if you were smart and if you got your stimulus checks and you got your unemployment, right? And you was making some money off the side, like under the table, non-taxable money, and you were putting it in places where, because money's supposed to be a tool, it's supposed to be a resource, right? What money's supposed to do is make more money for you, right? So if you were putting it in places where you're putting your money in places where it can make you some money, this is an enormous come up for the little man. That's smart. Because I'm here to tell you, man, I'm not trying to go back to Postmates. That's not going to happen. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it, man. That's slave work. All these gig jobs, Uber Eats, you got to deal with attitudes, and whether it's food, it's still customer service, regardless of what form it is, whether you're working at a restaurant, whether you're flipping burgers, dropping off food, picking people up, dropping people off. Hell, I've delivered wine, cigarettes, medicine, some of everything. It's still like horrible, regardless of whatever you're doing. You have most of the time you have bad days. Every now and then you have good days. For the most part, man, I feel bad for people, man, that have to go back to these jobs. And I just think that overall we should stand up for something and demand. It doesn't affect me, you know what I'm saying? Because I haven't worked a job in years, and I don't plan on working a job in the near future. I mean a conventional job, like clocking in and clocking out. Not taking heat. If shit hit the fan, and I have to, I will. But at the end of the day, I just can't see it because it's been too many years that I've actually not worked. So for me to go into like a warehouse job, and they telling me that I got an hour lunch and 2 15-minute breaks, and I gotta ask the boss, can I use the bathroom and all? Nah, that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So I want to help fight for these people that have to go back to jobs like that, warehouse jobs and customer service, food restaurants and stuff like that, and definitely get the minimum wage pulled up, some type of incentives, money wise, like we'll give you $15 an hour and we'll give you a bonus $50 once you get accepted, far as once you get the job. We'll give you $50 on your next check, on your first paycheck. It makes sense to me. Other than that, you asking people to go back to work that's able to sit at home and think of a master plan, or like, let me flip it. Most people are not even in that particular situation. Most people are in a situation where they have to get unemployment because their moms and their children are at home and they can't afford to work because they can't afford a daycare. Like, straight up, man, I ain't gonna even lie. Like, public school is a free daycare for people. Seriously. And this is the reason why a lot of people are bitching and complaining about the schools being closed due to COVID, because now they're not able to work. But these are little people problems. But this is crazy how we call it little people problems, but guess what? It's the big people problems, because the majority of the United States or the world are living in from paycheck to paycheck. Only the 1% are living a lifestyle, or where they don't have to worry about robbing Peter to pay Paul. Other than that, most people are living from paycheck to paycheck. So it's crazy out there, man. And I had to do this video. I know it's not gonna last long, but now you can see just how people feel. Just how people feel. Yo, pay these people, man. Pay these people. And then maybe if you pay them, they'll come back. Other than that, my name is Langston2092. I want you to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share this video.